What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to the Blazers Uprise postgame show presented by Sleeper. Today, the Portland Trail Blazers fall back to 500 as they lose to the Toronto Raptors 110-98. The Blazers offense today, abysmal without Denny Avdija. Just straight up abysmal without Denny as they score 12 first quarter points. They had about 6 points with 2.5 minutes left in the first quarter. It was a really ugly start to this game offensively for the Blazers, and they just couldn't recover. Even though they did come back and take a 2-point lead there in the second half, the Raptors then pull away, scoring 34 points in the final quarter for that 110-98 win. We're going to break it all down for you here on the Blazers Uprise postgame show. Eric, how's it going, man?
Oh, fine. Just wish the Blades would have played a little better because this was a very winnable game. I see people in chat saying no need to panic or freak out or anything. Raptors are a good team, all that kind of stuff, which is true. But and no one's going to freak out over this game, of course. But they definitely had a chance to win this game and continue their hot stretch. And several players that we needed to step up tonight with Denny out did not, and it's just unfortunate they let this one get away.
Yeah, after being happy with a lot of performances last night, I'm a bit dissatisfied with some performances tonight, and you guys know how it goes. We're going to break it down. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, everything in between. Yeah, it's getting to the point where I'm starting to get used to winning. You know, it's been a while since I've had that feeling, but now that I'm starting to get used to winning, I hate losing even more. Just not in a good mood after this loss, man. This loss kind of sucked. It was just a uphill struggle for this offense this entire game, and wasn't an efficient night. I mean, we'll just jump straight into the team stats. The Blazers end up shooting 40% from the field, 29% from three. It felt worse than that. But also 7 for 10 from the free throw line. They do not get to the free throw line at all tonight. It's kind of strange considering the Raptors had 17 fouls and the Blazers had only 11. But the Raptors shot 17 free throws and the Blazers only shot 10. So it basically shows you all the Raptors fouls were essentially not shooting fouls. And I think the Blazers did a really, really poor job of attacking the paint in this game. The Raptors, without Jakob Poeltl, starting Sandro Mamukelashvili, he's very gifted offensively, but he is not a rim protector. He's not a good defensive big. But the Blazers all game long were unable to win at the point of attack offensively. They really struggled to get dribble penetration. And when they did, and when they kicked it out, they were missing a bunch of threes. But I think this was the type of game where Denny would have thrived without a rim protector on the opposing side. I mean, Scotty Barnes is a good defender, so maybe he could have slowed up a guy like Denny. But if Denny was able to force some switches, you know, this is the type of team where I think he could have eaten against, and the Blazers needed him tonight because they were really struggling to create dribble penetration throughout this game, it felt like. And when they did, defense was rotating the Blazers. When they kicked it out against those rotations, the three ball was not pretty tonight, and missed some shots around the rim. 46 points in the paint is not a good number against a team starting Mamukelashvili. So that was something that I marked as a key for this game last night, being able to attack the rim, and I was disappointed in that area tonight specifically.
Yeah, and Drew had some success there in the second half, attacking a little bit, but Shea, we really needed Shea to be that guy who did that, and then Grant off the bench, we needed him to as well, and those guys just took turns sucking it up on offense tonight. So unfortunately, we need at least one of those two guys to bring it, and we probably win this game if one of them has a better game. But they just kept dribbling, and not finding a good shot. Despite that lack of rim protection, got several shots blocked around the hoop by both of them, and just never really had any success driving the ball in this game outside of a couple possessions.
The good news tonight is we do get to do a tankathon stream or a tankathon spin for those of you who missed that. The bad news is, for the tankathon part at least, the Blazers, I believe, have the worst odds in the lottery, so it's going to take a wild stroke of luck there. But yeah, just certain guys that didn't step up tonight. I'll just kind of go through some names quickly. Of course, we'll break them down in depth, but Klingon tonight, I had some frustrations with him. Sharpe had 21 points, but 10 for 23 from the field, 1 for 6 from 3, 4 assists, 3 turnovers. Like, this was a pretty standard, like, Shea game. Like, I think this was an okay Shea game. Would have liked to have him get to the free throw line a little bit. I do have some things I want to talk about in terms of how he can score the ball more effectively that are kind of new, actually, tonight. So once we get to him, once we're going through the box score, I'll give those reasons. But I think there's a couple different things that he could be doing to be a little bit more efficient inside the arc. Sissoko.
Let's just do it now.
Yeah, well.
You want to do it now?
I'm finishing up my graphics.
Okay.
We can go into it in a second. I just kind of want to go through overarching themes. You know how we do. And we'll get into it shortly. This will probably be a quicker post-game show. Anyways, we'll flow through this pretty quick. But Sissoko, 3 points in 33 minutes. He was pretty brutal today. Caleb Love was 4 for 9 off the bench, 3 for 6 from 3. Had 3 assists, 3 turnovers. Kind of started this game slow and then made a couple of shots. Javonte Cook had quick 5 points, but outside of that, he had no impact. But, I mean, he was only a -3. Young Hansen was freaking awful tonight, man. I do want to have a conversation about him because there's a lot said about, like, you can see his talent in the G League. You can see the flashes. You know, I forget who was tweeting about it, but I think it was somebody that covers the team tweeting about that. And, well, there's a reason for that. We'll get into that. Repair... I can't wait till we move on from Repair. In 16 minutes, had no points, 0 for 5 from the field. But Jeremy Grant, 2 for 8. In 26 minutes, had 8 points, 0 for 5 from 3. Like, if he just makes a couple of threes, if he steps up and does anything in this game, this is a game down the stretch. He was a complete no-show off the bench. So the combination of Sharpe not having the most efficient night, but I don't really want to throw him in this group because I do think he was better in this group. But the combination of Sissoko, Grant, Repair, Young Hansen was brutal tonight. And it hurt not having Rob Will. It hurt not having some guys off the bench that would normally step up and contribute. And a guy who had stepped up and contributed in the past couple of games, at least a little bit, was Jeremy Grant. Tonight, he did not do so. So Caleb Love, also 11 points in 29 minutes, is a little bit below the rate at which he's been scoring. You know, he was 4 for 9. Like, the efficiency wasn't bad, but he has been scoring at a higher rate, and this team needed him to score at a higher rate than this. It's kind of weird to be talking about him playing 29 minutes, shooting 9 times, and saying maybe he should have shot a couple more, or found his way to shooting a couple more shots during this game. But what do you think went wrong with the offense? Because that's really the theme from this game. The Blazers shooting 40% from the field and 29% from 3.
I mean, well, you can point to the missed shots. I think at one point, I don't know if it got worse than this, but at one point Calabro said that we were 2 for 19.
They started 2 for 20.
2 for 20, yeah. So, I mean, just you're not gonna get it done shooting like that. So that reminds me of that's like pretty similar to the field goal percentage of the Blazers other than Dame in the fourth quarter and overtime of his 55-point playoff game against Denver. Like, you need someone to make a basket, and we just had no one. And it really felt like they were stuck in mud in the first half too. They did not seem to be getting any sort of positive momentum towards the basket. There was no movement off ball. Everything was just give it to someone and take turns trying to drive. Jeremy wasn't able to get any separation on his drive, so he was just driving into a wall. Shea was kind of sloppy with his shot and his handles, and so it felt like they were just trying to replicate what Denny does, like just give it to someone and have him get a paint touch and kick it out. But they were kicking it out okay, weren't hitting those shots, but they weren't getting deep enough into the paint and they weren't generating any sort of offense off of it. And everyone was standing around. Just really frustrating to watch them go back to that kind of offense, especially after a few minutes when I think there was like 5 minutes left and we still only had 4 points, I think. And like just run a set, run something different, like call a play, like do something to get someone going in this game. And I felt like Blazers just did a really bad job of executing any sort of movement on offense.
Yeah, this is the type of game where you got to get Shea coming off some curls. You got to try to find a way to get Shea involved going downhill, given their lack of rim protection. They have some length on the wings. RJ Barrett's like a 6'6" shooting guard. He's not a great defender, but it's some length. And then you got Ingram, who is pretty good size for a small forward. You got Scotty Barnes, who's a really good defender. It would have been nice to try and get Shea into positions where he was able to attack their lack of rim protection, but the Blazers really struggled to do that in this game. But this just reminded me a ton of the Golden State loss. What was it, a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago? The first game without Denny, where they came out and they could not get anything going offensively because they couldn't get to the rim, they couldn't get to the free throw line, and their offense had no rhythm because of it. And yeah, they also didn't make threes, just like this game. They also didn't make threes, but it's almost like the threes are a little bit of a microcosm of not being able to get any rhythm and get the ball moving offensively. And when they did try to move the ball, 15 turnovers, not terrible, but it was just kind of like a sloppy game. It wasn't a sharp game from this team. And I feel like they shoot the ball better when the ball's able to get into the paint before a kick-out pass. I've always said this. The pass from around the rim out to the three-point line is, in my opinion, the easiest pass to shoot off of because you can be square as you catch it. You're facing the pass and the basket. It's coming from the basket. It's easy just to kind of have things lined up before you receive the ball compared to receiving it from the side and having to catch and turn into it, which these NBA players obviously can make those shots. They practice it thousands of times. I still feel like it's a little bit easier to shoot off a kick-out pass that gets deep into the paint. And also, when the ball gets deep into the paint, it collapses the defense a little bit more, so you have a little bit more space. And it just felt like the Blazers just weren't able to get downhill enough in this game. So, some of these kick-out passes, the shots were still contested. Some of them were to guys who were wide open, who are very inconsistent shooters and didn't show up today. City Sissoko was 0 for 4. Ryan Rupert was 0 for 2. Grant was 0 for 5, but, how many open threes did he have in this game? It felt like the majority of his threes were contested. There's a couple that were heavily contested. One where he turned sharply into it, like with the defender in his face. Like it wasn't like they just got high quality threes in this game, which throughout the season with Denny Avdia on the floor, this team has had one of the best shot qualities in terms of threes. Some of that's because they are the worst three-point shooting team in the league, so teams will just leave certain guys wide open. And that I assume with these metrics that measure shot quality, I assume a wide-open three is a high-quality shot, although if it's Chris Murray shooting it or Ryan Rupert shooting it, I don't know. But this team is able to get rolling offensively when they can get the ball to the rim and get the ball into the paint. I feel like going 7 for 10 from the free throw line, the lack of free throw attempts is the indicator there that they weren't doing a good job of creating advantages and putting the defense in tough spots, attacking downhill, because that has to be their lowest free throw attempt number of the season. This is a team that normally lives at the free throw line, has one of the highest free throw rates in the league. Denny obviously is a huge part of that, but it shouldn't be so bad that you're missing Denny and you only shoot 10 free throw attempts.
Yeah, they just did not do a good job of like creating contact in this one. It felt like, once again, did Sharpe shoot a free throw? I don't think he did he?
Nope.
No free throws again. That's 2 straight games with no free throws, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. So your main focal point, or who should be your main focal point on offense, 2 straight games, no free throws. That's just not going to get it done, unfortunately. We won last night, but we had the hot shooting 3 from everyone else to make up for it. But tonight you don't have that, and you can't get to the line. We just really needed a way to generate some offense, and we know getting to the free throw line is the easiest way to do that. But we just didn't have anyone that could create enough fouls. Even Jeremy Grant tried to foul bait for a little bit and just resulted in turnovers. And then, dude, the freaking behind the back pass to the other team, Jeremy, can you freaking stop that crap as well? But side note, anyways, the lack of free throws. I mean, obviously Denny carries that statistic, but you have a lot of guys who have been able to get to the free throw line still, and just weren't able to do it much tonight.
Yeah. I know a lot of Sharpe fans will say Sharpe gets a really bad whistle. That's why he's not shooting any free throws. And I do think there is some element where he doesn't get some calls that maybe some stars do. But I also think when you're Shaedon Sharpe and you're shooting 23 shots in a game like this and you're not shooting a single free throw, I don't know how many. He shot, 21 shots last game. So the last 2 games he shot 44 shots and doesn't have a free throw attempt. Like, there's clearly also something that he could be doing better to get to the free throw line. And we've had this conversation, but just especially these last 2 games, what do you think it was? 'Cause the game before this, he had shot 11 free throw attempts against the Kings. That was tied for a season high. So what do you think was the reason he was unable to get to the line the last couple of games, especially when he had the ball in his hands a lot with Denny only playing a single half? These were the first 2 games where he shot more than 20 shot attempts since December 29th.
Well, just to be fair to him, I feel like he should have gotten at least a couple free throw attempts both games. But I don't know, man. It seems like he's so off balance. He's so contorted. He's not strong with his legs. He's not strong with his handles. So it feels like he's going in kind of chaotic sometimes. And I don't think the refs are buying that he should be bailed out when he's not. He doesn't even have full control of the ball sometimes, or he's kind of bobbling it, or he's shooting some crazy shot. It's just not going to generate, especially when if you go up strong and then you come down and try to shoot a layup from lower than where you went up from. It's really hard to get fouled unless they come across and hit you on the arm. Whereas if you just go right at the rim and just because that's where Denny's so good at it. It's not foul baiting in my mind. It's just he plays in a style that he's looking to make contact instead of looking to get around the contact like Sharpe's doing. And it can be a tough adjustment because it can look really bad if you don't get fouled and you're trying to go up and go for a foul. But I feel like Sharpe, with his athletic ability, should just be trying to end somebody's life on some poster dunks. If you don't get them, I think it's fine because you're missing a lot of shots anyway, and you're not efficient right now anyway. But I just really wish he would go up a little stronger and try to go into the player and create that versus what he's doing right now, which is kind of avoiding all contact when he gets in there. And it's leading to some low angles that are getting blocked pretty easily.
Well, I think part of the problem is he's not good enough at staying on balance and exploding through the contact.
Yeah.
He gets a little bit of contact. Yeah, he just ends up falling over. That shot he got blocked near the end of this game, there's a little bit of contact. He ended up off balance, and he jumped like he was Ryan Repair. You know, he didn't really get off the ground. So we've been talking about this for years, but he has to find a way to get stronger when he drives to absorb some of this contact. And it doesn't really feel like it's getting better. Like, this is kind of what it looked like at times with how he'd end up off balance, like in year 2. You know, in year 1, he was primarily off the ball. In year 2, he started having, you know, more responsibility creating, and he had some flashes, and I think he's a better creator now, but I still think he does struggle, much in the same way as he's always struggled, just with the contact and staying on balance, and it's hard for him to rise up to the rim. But I'll also say this, Eric. I guess we'll get into this conversation right now, because this kind of leads into this. He needs to learn how to... He needs to be a little craftier. You look at the way Drew will drive, and Drew's a 36-year-old veteran, so obviously he's going to have a level of craft that I wouldn't expect Shaedon Sharpe to have, okay? This is just kind of like something for him to hopefully add in the future that will make him, in my opinion, a more efficient scorer. Like, you see the way...
And Drew wasn't crafty on offense at the beginning of his career, to be fair. Either.
Yeah, like, he was a defensive type, right? So I could see him excelling where he drives, gets downhill. He's always trying so hard, even if the defender has a step on him, he's trying so hard to accelerate through that defender and beat him to the backboard, even when he doesn't have a step. You look at Drew Holiday and how he just drives at kind of a methodical pace, but then he'll use his body bump and get, you know, this little like 5-foot jumper. These crafty shots around the rim where he's not getting all the way to the backboard, but he's getting off clean shots around the rim and finishing them. Coming to a 2-foot stop, pump faking. He had that play where he drove left, came to a jump stop, pump faked, stepped right across the key, hit a little runner. How many times have we seen Sharpe come to a jump stop on a drive, pump fake, and then step through? You know, like maybe he has, but I feel like it's rare. I wish he would do a little better job of, if somebody has to step on you, let him over pursue you a little bit. Euro step the other way, or come to a 2-foot stop, pump fake, try and step through, you know, give them a controlled bump. I just feel like he's trying to race guys to the backboard even when he doesn't have a step. And that puts him in a lot of trouble sometimes.
Yep. You just got it. Everything has to be cleaned up. And yeah, he needs to figure out a way to, it's just, lazy isn't the right word, but like he just, like some of his drives, he just goes in there like he's not, it's just like, oh, here's careless Shea, like going in, you know, like we need him to be just a little tougher. Like, I don't know, like craftier and tougher, I think is like, he just doesn't have like, it's like, oh, let's see if this works out. It's not like I'm going to take it to this guy. It's like, all right, well, I'm going to drive in here again for the 4th time in a row. Let's see if it's different this time. I'm going to shoot the exact same little underhand flip. And like, it's not like there's no chess match, right? It's just, he's just playing the same move like every time and expecting like, oh, maybe I'll get a call this time, or maybe the defender will do something different this time. And of course, he's athletic enough to make it work a lot, but he definitely has to get more of that like killer instinct and just like the ability to like have a counter when your shot's not, you're not getting good shots on your drives.
Yeah, he needs to add more to his bag because he has long arms. He has that 7-foot or 7'1" wingspan. He should be able to come to a jump stop playoff to pivot in the paint and not just always have the result be a fadeaway 12 to 15 footer with, you know, like that's the problem. A lot of shots result in mid ranges where I feel like he could be getting something closer to the rim. I tweeted this out during the game. This is kind of the other thing I want to see from him more. I don't like him shooting the 16-foot pull-up when he has space in front of him to get to a 9-foot floater. Because with the way he can jump, his floater looks good to me. And he did have a shot today. It was kind of like a floater. It was maybe a little bit of a hook shot. Like he wasn't square, but he finished it. He finished it. And that was a shot that is kind of like a Drew Holiday type of shot. But I think he has a good floater. He can rise above defenders if there's a defender close to him. He has good touch. He shoots it the right way. I would rather him be getting to 9 feet and shooting a floater above a defender than for him to see a defender, near the rim and stop with a huge gap and shoot a 16-foot pull-up, because he has simply not been efficient on mid-range shots so far this year. He was more efficient last season. He was a good mid-range shooter last season, but especially on the ones where he's walking into them, he hasn't shot particularly well. So I would like to see him try and take another dribble and shoot a floater. It's either like 16-foot pull-up or he will try and go all the way and throw himself into the shot blocker. There's a shot in between that he doesn't really go to a lot. So I think this is just why he struggles to be a consistently efficient player. I don't know what his true shooting percentage is if you take out the first 4 games. Hopefully we have Trevin here to tell me, maybe it's league average efficiency. But just on the season, he's still not league average efficiency in terms of his true shooting percentage, right? And he has a lot of games where he is efficient and his scoring is a huge boost to this team that needs it. This team isn't an efficient offense either. So it's not to say his offense or his shot volume is hurting this team by any mean. Like, this team needs somebody to go out there and get shots up, even if it isn't maybe the most efficient offense. But there's just like little things that I feel like he could add that he would be very capable of doing that would take his scoring to the next level and give him a little bit of a higher floor from half to half or game to game as a scorer, where it's not like, oh, one half he's 1 for 8 with 4 turnovers and 0 assists like last game, and then he has 24 in the second half, was absolutely great, but a lot of it was like, oh, he's hitting mid-range shots and tough jumpers and tough finishes. Like, even some of the shots today, some of the finishes, he's a really gifted finisher, but a lot of the shots that he finishes at the rim are difficult finishes. Like, his shot diet is super difficult. And he's almost, league average efficiency on it. That's an encouraging thing. He needs to find ways to get easier shots for himself, especially in the paint. And there's just a level of craft that he'll have to learn to do that. And the hope is, he's 22 years old. He has plenty of time to add this sort of stuff. But to me, it's just like, oh, this guy's used to having his athleticism get him by, and that's why you see like older players, their athleticism starts to go and they add some crafty little moves around the rim, stuff that Drew Holiday does. He needs to add that, because I think that would take his floor and make his scoring that much better from game to game.
Yeah, and part of being crafty is, so you develop some sort of like move, and then you have like a move to like when the defense thinks you're going to do that move and you counter to like a different move. With Denny, it's like he'll just drive right if you let him or if he gets by you, but he has that rip through move that's really tough to stop, right? And obviously not a lot of players can replicate Denny's physicality with that. A lot of that's just his size and ability to handle the ball at that size and stuff like that. But you need some sort of move to like set them up. And it feels like Shaedon's always just playing into the setup one, but never has the, oh, I set him up and now I'm going to fool you with this and go back the other way or whatever. Because like, it's almost always like when he drives, it's almost always like you can tell where he's going to shoot before he gets like 10 feet away from the hoop, right? Unless he has a runway for a dunk. But most of the time, it's always whatever side he's driving on, he'll try to get to the side of the backboard on that side. And he never really comes back to the middle at all. Or like he'll go under the hoop if it's if he's coming from the baseline, but it's never like he never crosses over to the other side from like coming straight towards the hoop, or unless it's like underneath the hoop, if that makes sense. So like
Yeah.
if he's going down the line of the free throw line, he's never coming back across the basket. He's
Yeah.
always going to shoot on that side of the hoop by
Yeah.
the backboard. And so he's got to figure out how to make it so he's not so predictable on those.
Yeah. He's like leaning forward a lot on these. I think that's part of the reason he gets off balance when there's any sort of contact, is he's like leaning a little too far forward, like trying to push himself to beat the guy to the backboard. Where if you watch Drew, he's not in such a hurry. He's more upright, and that allows him, he can get to a spot driving left and spin back to the right, spin back to the middle, or come to a stop, pump fake, and then pivot. Whereas if you're leaning forward on a run, if you pick up the ball, it's really difficult to stop, because your balance and your momentum is going forward. And it's really hard to channel that in a different direction. And that's what I see when he drives a lot of times. And it's something that's teachable. It's something that he is fully capable of figuring out and learning, but it's just kind of a mental part of the game that has to click, a mental part of the game that he has to ultimately focus on. So the fact that he's able to get 21 points per game the way he's been doing so far this season, his true shooting percentage on the season, let me look, was 54.7%. And this is after the rough first 4 games. Damn, we don't have Trevin in here. 56.2% true shooting. If you take out the first 4 games, that Trevin was in a coma those first 4 games. That's why we take him out. Yeah, that's close to league average efficiency. So the fact that he can get 21 points per game, close to league average efficiency, with so much area for improvement, is the part of me where I am a Shaedon optimist, where I still think he has potential to be a star level scorer, but he has to add these certain things to make it a little bit easier on himself. He has to add these certain things that'll make him a little bit more consistent as a scorer. It's really tough to be a consistent scorer living on tough shots all game long. And I especially think it's a little questionable as in terms of how does that translate to the playoffs, where guys can be more physical and get away with it without getting foul calls. He's already falling on a lot of drives and off balance on a lot of drives with some contact. So I'm curious to see what that looks like in a playoff setting where defenders are allowed to get away with a little bit more contact. So, that's the pessimistic side of me worries about like his ability to read things and see certain things on the floor at a high enough level to become that star level scorer. But the optimistic side says he's already getting 21 points per game on a 55 to 56 true shooting percentage. And there's just so many different things that he could improve as a scorer that would make him more efficient, make him a 24 point per game guy on true efficiency. So,
Collab came for a sec.
But at least I was talking. Normally, you're the one talking when you get collaborated. Right. It's kind of strange.
You know what I was thinking while you were saying all that is, I wish there was a way for Shaedon to train like he is, like he's back in the 80s and 90s and has to drive under those set of rules where you could put your hands on someone. And then once he learns how to do that, then like going back to like the defenses now where you can't really do it. I think it's like, I don't know. I feel like he just needs to be like beaten up, not during the season, obviously, but like this offseason, like just have someone like literally beat you with like a jousting stick or something every time you drive, and you just got to get tougher, man. Like you have to be able, like there's no reason why you can't with today's defensive rules and stuff, like you can't be stronger with the ball on your drives.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will reiterate, like I think this was an okay Shaedon Sharpe game. I think this was a fine game. It wasn't the most efficient game, but Go ahead.
I was really frustrated with Sharpe in that.
I was frustrated at times. Yeah.
There was like 2 or 3 plays in a row where he took a terrible shot and he had Klingon wide open under the basket. And it's just like, dude, throw the freaking ball to Klingon. Like, quit. You weren't even like, it's one thing if he's cooking and and like he's focused and he's like the second half of last night, right? But when you're shooting like the first half of last night at points in this game and you're missing wide open players under the basket to take a 10-foot fadeaway with 2 guys on you, like it's a little ridiculous. And he's got to figure that out, man. He's got to, especially when we don't have Denny. Like he's got to be able to find I don't give a crap about the kickouts to City Sissoko. Like, don't do that anymore. If you don't want to, that's fine. Yeah. And I know Klingon struggled a little bit catching the ball and finishing around the hoop tonight, which we'll talk about later. But dude, if it's like a main rotation player and he's wide open around the basket, you have to make that play. You just have to, and you have to see it. And you can't keep bricking these shots while you have guys constantly open around you. And I felt like that was an issue at points in this game tonight.
Yeah, and that's why the whole like potential assist conversation drives me a little crazy. Is there be people like, oh man, he had a lot of potential assists this game. Okay, yeah, he's kicking out to guys that can't shoot because they're completely open because defenses know they can't shoot or they struggle to shoot. So yeah, of course that pass is there, but like make the pass that results in a truly high quality shot. A lob to Klingon should, in a lot of situations where defenders will rotate over to Sharpe and that pass is there, that is a higher quality shot. And that's part of the reason why Denny, because Denny does a good job at throwing that pass. That's a part of the reason why Denny has more assists per game. That's why Denny will have games where with 9, 10, 11 assists, because there's games where he does a really good job of feeding the big man. And that's something with Sharpe that he needs to add. But that also goes into like the driving and leaning forward thing. It's a little harder to see that compared to if you're just kind of under control, playing at your own pace, playing a little bit more upright. And Sharpe will do that kind of in the mid-range, but it's not like if he has a little bit of a driving lane, there's just so many times where he leans forward and he just tries to boost through that driving lane and then beat the guy to the backboard. And he misses some things. I think he had that turnover at the start of the game where he tried to throw that pocket pass to Klingon.
Yeah.
The lob was there.
Yeah.
The lob was there. There's 3 defenders in between him and Klingon. There's nobody behind Klingon rolling to the rim. But that's what I said. He loves the pocket pass. Mm-hmm. He's not really a lob thrower. He can in transition if it's a 2-on-1 and like obvious in front of him, but on the pick and roll, like even when the lob is there and the pocket pass is not, he'll try and throw the pocket pass. And he did that and it got stolen by one guy, and if he didn't steal it, there was like another guy there to steal it as well. So like to summarize this, like this was, I thought, an okay game from Sharpe. There's frustrating moments, but like we're going to hold him to a high standard because of how talented he is, and he's kind of just getting by off that talent right now, which is not necessarily a bad thing to have somebody that's super athletic and has the talent that he does with the frame that he does, right? Like that's a great combination. You can't teach that. 99% of players don't have that in the NBA. It's very unique, right? I think it's easier to teach some of the things that he needs to learn that would take him to that next level, to that all-star caliber level, than it is to teach somebody how to jump 45 inches. You know what I mean? Like the stuff that he needs to learn is learnable. The stuff that he has is not teachable. But this is why, even in a game where I think he was fine, I come on the postgame show and I say, okay, this area are improvable for him, is stuff that he needs to learn, stuff that I think he's capable of learning, but needs to get better. And it's funny because, you know, Sharpe fans will take that as hatred or take that as negativity. But I don't think we should be holding him to the same standard as a Ryan Repair, where if Sharpe has double-digit points, we're just celebrating it for the hell of it. I think there should be a high standard for him because of how high the talent level and athleticism is and what I think he's capable of in terms of his potential. There's a lot for him to learn, and he's already a 21 point per game scorer. So imagine if he learns this stuff. That's why it gets a little bit frustrating to see him struggling in this stuff because of how good it could truly be for him and for this team if he can just figure out some of these areas a little bit more consistently.
Yeah, and I agree with you, especially when we're missing Denny, because we need him to be more locked in. We need him to just take care of the ball better. We need him to set up his teammates a little more than normal because we're missing 7 assists from our lineup, right? So we need him to be better at those things in these type of games. And once again, we probably win if he is, and that's one of the most frustrating parts. Now, Marvin chat does say Shea is more doggish than he was last year. Give him time. The way they have him playing, it takes so much energy to score, and at this point, he just doesn't have the conditioning to maintain that level. I mean, it is a good point that like sometimes it does take time for some players to figure it out in that regard, but yeah, I mean, he's shown he can do it. All these things we've been talking about, he's shown glimpses of it. That's part of the flashes everyone talks about, right, Tori? That drive you crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. How much of the flashes though is like him just making a bunch of tough shots?
Yeah, but I mean, like he's had some times where he posterizes someone or like.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to see the flashes of like the nuanced stuff, like the play at your own pace, not being on balance, absorbing some contact. Like he has some plays where he absorbs contact, but just kind of like everything I talked about is more nuanced stuff that I think comes with experience. But that's the flashes I want to see. There's you can show flashes in different things. It shows flashes of being a super gifted scorer all the time because he makes tough shots a lot. I want to see the flashes of him finding ways to get easier shots for himself than what he gets.
Yep. Jacob says Shaedon did have more assists than turnovers tonight.
Yep. I looked this up. As a team, we have the worst assist to turnover ratio, and it's like 1.5 to 1.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
Yeah. Need to be better there as a team. Yeah.
All right, man. Crypto says Shea has never taken over a game. Did you not watch last night?
He literally took over last night's game, man. He had 24 in the second half without Denny. He stepped up when they needed him most last night and absolutely took over that game. Like, I don't know. Like, the thing is when he takes over games in the second half, how often is it in the final 3 minutes? Like, if you're talking about, like, crunch time final 3 minutes, I mean, I think there's a couple, but that's an area where, I don't know. I think he's been fine. I don't know. This team has had some struggles in crunch time, and the ball's usually in Denny's hands. So I think part of where I was going with that is, like, how much have we seen that? But this team wasn't in a lot of close games until this year, so it's not like he's had much of an opportunity to step up in those situations, because those situations a lot of times just simply didn't exist. So, yeah, like, he took over the second half of last game. I mean, he says, nah, he took over a quarter. Okay, so, like, you want him to score 60, like, he's going to have ebbs and flows throughout a game. Taking over a game to me is you have a close game and have a 24-point second half and completely dominate the game, and it has a huge swing on the game, and that's exactly what happened last night. So,
yep. Can I read off some donuts?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, Trevor Schindler's back with another $10 donation tonight. What's up, Trevor? Hope you're doing well. He says, "Have you guys heard any rumblings about some of the younger guys being upset Dame is back with the team? I wonder if there is a situation like Kerr when Jordan came back to the Bulls."
Where I have a
Uh,
thank you for the donation, but I have a question for you. Have you heard rumblings of that? If so, where? That's my
yeah.
question.
So,
Because I haven't heard anything like that, so maybe I'm missing something. But
well, especially since Dame's out this year, like it didn't affect anyone this year either. Like,
yeah,
so
I'll say this:
I
if
would,
any of the young guys are upset about Dame being back, even though he's out for this entire season, then I don't really want that young player on my team. Like that's soft as
well,
hell. If that's
yeah.
Scoot, man, Scoot, all right, fine, go like demand a freaking trade then, because he's gonna be here. You're 21. You have plenty of time to learn from him. The attitude should be, oh, I have a future Hall of Famer, top 75 player of all time coming in, and I can learn a lot off him, and it will make me better as a player and make my career better. Not, oh, he's coming in, my minutes 2 years from now might be a little bit limited, I'm upset. If that's the attitude, you don't fit the culture here. So I'm not saying that's Scoot. I don't think that would be Scoot's attitude. Like, if that's anybody's attitude on this team, it's weak mentally, and there's no room for it. So if you're upset, tough
I'm
shit.
I'm sure if you gave Scoot True Serum the minute he's heard Dame re-signed here, sure, I think it's natural to be a little disappointed. You're a point guard. You're thinking you're about to break out. This is before the hamstring tear, so like you probably think like this is your team moving forward and all that stuff. So I think there's a little bit of, oh man, that kind of sucks for me personally, but I have not heard a single thing from anyone being upset about it or unhappy about it. Especially, I mean, we couldn't have predicted that Scoot would not play this year, but he had the whole runway of this year to um, put any doubt in anyone's mind that
Yeah.
or erase any doubt in anyone's mind that he was the point guard of the future. And unfortunately, he hasn't been able to get on the court to prove it either way. But I have not heard anything, and um, I don't know why anyone would be upset about Dame coming back, especially since it didn't affect anyone.
Yeah. Well, like, if he was healthy and he came back, okay, I would get it.
Yeah,
But you have a whole, before his injury, you have a whole year to prove yourself, before he can even step foot on the floor. So, yeah, like, I just don't like that attitude, man. Like, if you're good enough, you're good enough. It's not like Scoot. Scoot knows that he struggled the first year of his career and at times in year two. Like, he knows that, trust me. So, I don't think he should or honestly would feel entitled to something that he hasn't really played well enough to earn yet. I think, if there's disappointment from like okay, maybe the situation isn't the best for me to develop, then I guess that's justifiable. But also, I do think having a guy like Dame to learn off of isn't a bad thing. I think sooner rather than later, he's going to need like a true 30-minute a night role where he can kind of run the offense a bit. But things have changed a bit here. Like Denny's going to handle the ball a lot. Even if Scoot's playing next to Drew's going to handle the ball a lot. Like there's Scoot has to find where he fits and then find a way to improve as a basketball player. And if he becomes good enough where he demands a ton of responsibility, he will naturally get that responsibility. Or he'll become a valuable trade piece going somewhere else, and he'll get that opportunity somewhere else. So that's why I have that attitude towards that mindset. Like, if you're good enough, you'll naturally find yourself into an opportunity where you have a lot of responsibility as a basketball player if you earn it. And if things are really that much of a logjam, then that's when you see yourself in a trade going out, or you see somebody else in a trade going out to clear the way to give you that responsibility.
Yep. Just got to get healthy first. And then Nathan had a member for 36-month message that says Giannis is a Blazer. Show some mock trades for him. So I don't know if everyone saw this or not, but there were some points in the game. The Bucks played the Nuggets tonight, lost at home to the Nuggets, the shorthanded Nuggets, and Giannis just flat out quit in the middle of the game. There was a play he just stood there, didn't even cross half court on an offensive possession. And then after the game, immediately announces that he has a strained calf and wouldn't be able to play for 4 to 6 weeks, according to Shams.
He announced that himself?
Yep. He told the reporter that he's out 4 to 6 weeks.
He finished the game, didn't he?
I don't know. I think he did. I didn't see the minute breakdown for him, but yeah.
I mean, he played like 31 minutes.
He's getting an MRI tomorrow, but so he hasn't even had the MRI yet. And
is he going to go sit on the MRI table and just be like, "I just want to trade, don't tell anybody"? That's what the MRI is going to say. Is he going to get it inscribed in his calf?
He didn't end the game. He injured it with 30 seconds left.
Oh, 30 seconds left. Okay. Yeah. I mean, maybe he did get injured, but that's over. They're over. It's funny, man. I have a guy in my league who's a Bucks fan, and I told him, I was like, because he was like, "Oh, we can still get home court advantage. We have Giannis. Giannis can carry anybody to a top 4 seed. Like blah blah blah." I'm like, dude, you're getting your hopes up a little too much, man.
The West is so down, or the East is so down too, and they still can't.
They're 18 and 26. They are much worse than us. Even when he plays, though, like Miles Turner, Halliburton made him look so good. So good. He's a starting center that gets you 12 points, 5 rebounds per game in 28 minutes. He's shooting 42% from the field, 39% from 3. Like, he can shoot threes. He's the worst rebounding starting center in the league. And
they have dead money from Dame's contract on the books now just to get him.
That was such a desperation move. I don't even necessarily blame them, but that was not a good enough move.
We talked about this last time. It comes back to that horrible Kuzma trade. You use your assets to go after Kuzma instead of someone who could have fit a lot better and maybe helped you last year. And then, yeah.
Yep. So, that's over. I mean, I could see them maybe, pulling a trade for Jaw or something, or somebody that's like a buy low candidate that they hope can be a second star. But
at this point, why would you want to?
Yeah,
Giannis is quiet quitting on them, and now just outright quitting. I mean, I think you got to move him. It could get really ugly if you don't.
I don't know why Portland isn't brought up a little bit more in the potential destinations for him, considering we have 5 tradable firsts, including 3 of their own, and the young players that we have. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they're just thinking that we wouldn't go after him. I don't know.
I just I want him to demand a trade. I know that's, I don't know what the word for this is. I was the guy that felt attacked when people would say, "I want Dame to ask a trade." It's like, oh, everybody roots against a small market, blah, blah, blah. That was kind of my attitude towards people wanting Dame to demand out when the Blazers were struggling to put a team around him. So it feels maybe a little hypocritical to say that about the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis. But at the same point, the Blazers controlling their picks, I kind of just want them to demand a trade so we can begin to talk about legitimate rumors in terms of oh, here's the teams that have a good chance of trading for him. Is there a way Portland can weasel their way in and use the Bucks picks to maybe get a player that does justify trading a Bucks pick or two back to Milwaukee in a 3-team trade. Like, could Portland be one of those teams that's actually on the radar possibly for him? You know, the speculation around that would be so much fun to cover for like a week that I just wish, because it's obviously going down the drain. It's so freaking clear that it's going down the drain. I wish he would just come out and demand a trade already, and we can start talking about how Portland can fit in, whether it's getting Giannis or more likely facilitating a Giannis deal, or if it's, oh man, the Knicks are going to trade for him and the Bucks might take that cat and OG Anunoby. Oh man, let's start looking at 2028 top draft picks, the prospects in that class, you know? So the Blazers are going to benefit off of the Bucks turmoil. They truly are. That's just the reality of the situation. I don't have any hatred towards the Bucks or their fan base or anything like that, but I want the Blazers to win a championship. They got to see their championship. I want to see a championship. So yeah, I'm rooting for the downfall of Milwaukee right now, and I'm hoping that Portland can truly, truly benefit off of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be weird to see Giannis play for another team, but I mean, I don't know how you think it can work out from here if you're the Bucks. Like, you have nothing to. I mean, you have one tradable future first. Like, you don't have enough assets to turn this ship around, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, they could keep him to the offseason, then hope that they get a top 3 pick. You know, we'll do a take-a-thought sim. They could hypothetically get a pick as high as 2 if the New Orleans pick to Atlanta is 1, and then maybe trade that pick for like a true co-star and figure it out from there. Like, that's their last ditch Hail Mary, is getting lucky in the lottery. But I think the way he's kind of acting right now makes it less likely that Milwaukee's just going to be like, yeah, we'll trade you wherever you want to go.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's like, I mean, it was, in my opinion, a lesser argument because he didn't have the on-court antics that Giannis is doing right now. And, I mean, honestly, Dame didn't have a lot of bad media comments like Giannis has had recently either, or booing your own fans in your own stadium. So yeah, I do think it kind of feels like Giannis was, I mean, this is just speculation, but it does feel like similar to the Dame situation where Giannis probably feels like he was promised if they ever moved on from him that they would kind of help him facilitate to go to one of his top destinations. Now, I'm not saying he could only pick one team like Dame did, like Miami, but it does feel like Giannis is kind of lashing out because it's becoming clear that they're not willing to necessarily 100% do that anymore. And that could explain why he's doing what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mubsy Hoops for a $14 donation. All love Blazers fans. Great game. Oh, Canada.
What do you mean, Mubsy? That was a gross game. We shot 29% from 3 and didn't have Denny. You're lucky. Denny Avdia didn't play tonight because he would have had 10 free throws by himself. The whole team had 10 freaking free throw attempts and shot 29% from 3. That was ugly. That's freaking ugly. So, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it, but disgusting game. Yeah, I don't know. Talking about Giannis trades and a loss is pretty fun. Let's do a tank. Let's do the tankathon now since we're kind of on topic, and then we'll do the we'll go through some more of the players and wrap this thing up. Man, it's been a minute. It's been a minute since we've done a good old-fashioned tankathon. The Blazers are tied for 13th best odds. I don't like that our loss is green. That's, I know it's tankathon, so losing is supposed to be good, but losing is not good. Milwaukee is 8th best odds, and they get the worst of that pick in this New Orleans pick, so we'll see what happens. The Clippers picked OKC's down to 11th, although that's what the Mavs pick was that became the number 1 overall pick last lottery. So, if the Blazers don't make the playoffs, I hope that the Clippers do. And we'll simulate it and scroll up from the bottom. At 14.
Samuel, we're not tanking. We just do tankathon after a loss because they're in the lottery.
Yeah. We do a lottery simulation. I just got
we're
through
not
saying I don't like that our loss is in green because I don't. Obviously we're not tanking.
By doing a tankathon simulation, we're not saying that the Blazers are now back into tank mode and are going to tank the rest of the season. That's not.
He says, "I know, just being annoying over here. That was very annoying." See, I just wouldn't have responded to that.
Wow, Samuel.
This is just obvious rage bait.
He's not a troll, usually.
Yeah, but people like to get us going. You know how it is. 14 is Chicago. 13 is your Portland Trail Blazers. 12 is San Antonio via Atlanta. 11 is OKC via LA. 10 is Dallas. 9 is Memphis. 8 is Milwaukee. 7 is Charlotte. What a boring sim. 6 is Sacramento moving down 2 spots. We might have to do another one because it's been a minute since we've had to do one. This one is extremely boring. 5 is Indiana. 4 is Utah. 3 is Atlanta via New Orleans. 2 is Brooklyn. And 1 is Washington. That was boring. That was boring. I'm gonna do it again. I won't say the teams, but I want one where Milwaukee moves top 4. Oh no, we got OKC moving top 4. This is why we don't do 2 tankathon sims. All right, I learned my lesson.
What are you doing, man?
I learned my lesson. 10 is Memphis. 9 is Milwaukee. Yeah. We can't tempt the lottery gods with multiple tankathon sims on the same stream. All right, let's see where OKC goes, though. Is OKC 4? Yes, they're 4.
Okay.
3 is Washington. 2 is Indiana. 1 is Brooklyn. Honestly, you know who I feel like they would potentially take it for? I feel like that's a good destination. Well, he's been struggling lately, so he's dropping down boards. But for OKC, I hate this idea because I don't want OKC to be good. But Jaden Quaintance would be good in OKC if they have to cut some salary and move off of Hartenstein. And I think him plus Chet's a good fit. His defense in that system would contribute right away. That's a Quaintance destination. If they move up to 4, I think. Although I could see them just betting on the talent of Caleb Wilson. Since we're on the topic, do you have any draft crushes yet?
I don't. Well, you're putting me on the spot. Of the main guys, I mean, obviously, we're not going to include the top 3, but I really like Kingston Flemings.
Yeah.
And
there's a million different guards to choose from that are all kind of fun.
But my 2 draft crushes from last year, Yoxel and Bennett Sturts, are still in the mix. So it's not really new draft crushes, but they're still right there in the mid-first in most mocks.
It's just weird because my draft crushes were projected undrafted guys that are in this year's first round. So I don't know if they're still my crushes, which was Thomas Hout and Avdalis.
That's the same way with Sturts and Yoxel. When I started liking them last year, they weren't on.
Yeah, you had Sturts at 14. And I was like, ooh, that seems really high, but also seems reasonable at the same time. And now he's in that conversation mid-first. So yeah, it's kind of the same thing for me with those 2 guys. It's funny. There's a lot of guys. Yoxel was another one of those guys. Chat, if you're new to our draft coverage, every year, me and Eric will find some crushes ahead of time, and then they will rise up draft boards and be where we were super high on them compared to consensus, then consensus will catch up to us, and it's always kind of funny. There's always players like that. So, I was bringing up Thomas Hout in the middle of the season last year, like, this guy's a draft prospect, and I hadn't seen them on a single draft board, big board, mock draft, honorable mention, like nothing. And I was a believer in Florida all year last year, and then they win it all. Not a believer in them this year. Boogie Flan's fallen off a cliff, but Alex Condon's fallen off a cliff a little bit. But yeah, I don't really have one. Like, those are my guys. And now I don't know. Mullins intrigues me for the Blazers a little bit. I need to watch more Wagler, however you say his name, because he's kind of like my archetype, but he came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But I always bet on a 6'6" dude that shoots the three well and gets like 4 assists per game with some scoring.
Yeah.
Yeah. He feels like sneaky good, like going to be a top 10 player from this class.
Oh, I've liked Christian Anderson lately.
Yeah.
Trying to think of someone else.
How do you feel about Alvaro Fulgaris?
I don't know enough about him.
Do you get the reference I'm making?
Is it Abdul that you're just trying to say Abdul a different way?
No. He's NBA, spreadsheet, big boards on NBA. You know how there's always like a player that they all love that like nobody else understands why they love him. Freeze it, Avi. He's like NBA draft Twitter's crush. Like they there's like so many different spreadsheet big boards that have him like 10th on their big boards, and he's, I think, coming off the bench for Iowa, averaging 9 points a game as an upperclassman or something like that. Makes no sense to me. Yeah, he's averaging 8 points per game for the Iowa Hawkeyes right now. 3.5 boards, 2 assists. He's playing 19 minutes a game for Iowa. He started 1 out of his 19 games, but like NBA draft Twitter consensus is like, he's a lottery pick. So there's just always this guy that's just completely random that they love. It's funny to me. Shout to Muvsy, 7 Canadian dollar donation, says, great recent couple of games for the Blazers. To be honest, this loss isn't anything crazy to me. Yeah, it's not crazy. We didn't have Denny. Thank you for the donation. Yeah, we don't lose if we have Denny.
Don't come on in here, tell us how to feel, Canadian.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say to that, but I like it. Tell him. He's coming on here flexing on us with these donations, Anyway, how about Arizona's Pete? Now that there's more stretch fives, he's intriguing. Like, more stretch fives in the league than there was 10 years ago, he's intriguing. But the 6'8" non-3-point shooter archetype's always questionable. Anyway. Solana seems to be shooting the 3 well lately. Yeah, Charlotte's been playing really well. You remember that there was like a stream 10 games ago or 15 games ago or so, and I was like, it feels like the Hornets are the next team to start surprising people in the East. Like, maybe not this year, but next year. And they've been playing really good since then. And your guy Solana's starting to look really good. So. What?
It just, anytime I open up certain sites to look at big boards and stuff, it always freezes my stuff when I'm streaming. So it's just
how old is your laptop?
It's probably about 6-ish years old. I got it shortly after we. I got it for the channel. I had.
Yeah, it shouldn't crash your laptop the way it does, just opening up big boards.
Well, I mean, I have other like Streamlabs and the chat for YouTube open and stuff. It just
Yeah. Got you. Okay, let's go.
I don't have a lot of space either.
I never have space. My vlog footage right now, I have to like duplicate the footage to get it editable. I've edited like half of it. I'm gonna try and finish this weekend. But it's currently taking up 177 gigabytes on my laptop because it has to like,
Nice.
in order to edit it, I have to like create like duplicate formatted copies. They're called like proxies or something. Yeah. So I've had like no space. I've been struggling. All right. Sharpe, we talked about Drew. Drew was great tonight.
Yeah, he had that stretch that got us back in the game or gave us a chance to win this one. And then he had to sub out because of his minutes restriction, and the team just completely fell apart, got down 12, and that was the game.
So in the last 2 games on this back-to-back, he played in 41 minutes and had 36 points, 14 assists, and 1 turnover. That's pretty good. He was 15 for 27. Like he stepped up the past couple of nights. He's been great. Hope he can raise that minutes allotment soon.
Yeah, the graphic says 33. That's I think he mixed.
That
Sissoko
is wrong.
and
No. That's I just forgot to enter those in. That's from a previous game. Yeah. Here, I'll update that quickly. Yeah, 22 minutes tonight. I wish he was playing 33. Because I feel like if he was playing 33, 34 minutes in this game, we might have won.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a -5, so we didn't even win the minutes he was on the floor. Do you see? I just got to say this. Mamu Kelashvili tonight was a plus 25. 22 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. I told you guys. I told you. This dude's legit, and he's been slept on. Like, I would have loved him. They got him so cheap. I would. Especially for a team that needs some scoring and some 3-point shooting, man. He would have been a great backup big for this team. A freaking phenomenal backup big. He has 22 in back-to-back games.
No, we got Young Hansen instead.
I know. But I was the guy that was saying, please sign this guy. But it's what it is, man. He's been great for them, and he was great for them today. I mean, we literally outscored them. Let me do the math on this. In the 13 minutes he wasn't on the floor, we outscored them by 13 points. So he was a major problem tonight. He's their player of the game. He was better than BI, better than Quickly, better than anybody. Quickly had 28 and 7. He had a good game too. All right. Anything else on Drew?
No, it's just been solid once again. Had some really nice drives to the hoop. Like you said, when you mentioned the craftiness needed to be better with Sharpe, he's been very crafty around the rim with his little hesitations and pump fakes and stuff. And it's been nice to have him back. And thank goodness it wasn't a season-long thing. Hopefully his calf responded well to playing again tonight, because it was very nice having him available for tonight. It would have really sucked if he was out too again, and they were just going to do that all season.
Yep. Tamani, 16 points. Tamani had a good game today too. He was 5 for 12, 4 for 8 from 3. 6 rebounds, 2 assists. Only 1 turnover. So solid offensive game from him. But just as I've said before, like, he's not going to carry an offense. Even though Drew played well and he played well, like, there just was not enough. And I mean, Sharpe was okay statistically. Clean was 6 for 14. Like, those 4 guys weren't particularly bad as a whole. It's
Mhm.
everything else outside of that. Where basically those guys, you could say they didn't step up enough, but you look at the combination of Sissoko, Grant, Young, Love, Cook, Repair. I mean, I'll do the I'll combine those guys' field goal attempts. Let me combine their shooting. But what were your thoughts on Tamati tonight? While I do that,
Well, Simone is pretty good. I do find myself, because we talked about this. I don't remember his last stream or a couple streams ago, but he's going to be the same player. He's not one of those guys who, oh, Denny's out, I'm going to score more tonight, or I'm going to have a bigger offensive impact. He's going to be the same no matter who the lineup is, and that's okay to have guys like that. But there was a long stretch of this game where he did not get a shot on offense, and it's just like, well, he's shooting well from three, and we're getting everyone else open threes. Why can't we get this guy some open threes? And so yeah, he eventually got some shots there in the fourth quarter and stuff. But man, I found myself wishing he could have had a little bit more opportunity to shoot, or some sort of plays ran for him, or if he backdoor cut a little more or something, got an easy basket. But he just kind of hangs out, and if he's not open, he doesn't have a way to really get a shot right now.
Yep. So the combination of Sissoko, Grant, Hansen, Love, Cook, and Repair shot 9 for 35 from the field. That's 20%.
Yeah,
no,
that's pretty good.
No, that's like 29 for 9 out of 36 is 25%. That's like 26, 27%. It's not good. I was thinking 9 for 45 is 20%. Yeah, it's 26, 27% from the field, something like that is not pretty. They combined to go 4 for 21 from 3. Yeah, not good. Sissoko, man. He is such a freaking roller coaster. He is such a roller coaster. Got blocked on. He had a. let's just have this conversation again. The unathletic athletic guy tried to reverse dunk and got blocked. Yeah. But if he didn't get blocked, I think he was going to get rim checked, Eric. I do not think he was going to finish that dunk. He might have been able to get it off.
Need a reverse layup. Yeah.
If he shot a reverse layup,
yeah,
like it just shot it off the backboard, he might not have gotten blocked if he was just like quick with it, got it on the glass. Mm-hmm. He tries to reverse punch it, gets blocked. I think he would have gotten rim checked, and if he got rim checked, he might have fallen hard. So I guess shout out to Toronto for saving him by blocking his shot. I want to see his field goal percentage on dunks, though. Like, on half-court dunks. What is his field goal percentage on half-court dunks? Trevin, I know you know every stat. Let me know. But, yeah.
When he tries to dunk in the half-court?
Half-court dunk attempts. Emphasis on attempts. But 3 points in 33 minutes, like, I don't know, dude. That was a brutal game from him. 0 for 4 from 3. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough because, like, if you're not missing guys, you have the kick out to where it's like our starting lineup last game, pretty solid, right? Like there's not a lot of, oh great, that was the city, and each person you're missing just kind of magnifies that, like, and then City gets more of those kickouts than normal, and it's not really working out. But yeah, I mean, I just feel like he's one of those guys who's never going to be a super consistent shooter, and it's gonna look bad a lot, and then he'll have some games where he makes some. But I just got to believe if you're opposing defense, you're willing to live with him making threes if he does make them. That's what I would do, is leave him open as much as possible to stop other players. But I don't really know how to counter that right now with the lineups we're having to run out there.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying put him on an NBA roster spot, but like He's barely an NBA roster guy. He's not a guy that you want to be playing in your rotation when you're a 500 team or above trying to win basketball games. Like, there's games where he can contribute, but it's just too inconsistent. It's too much of a roller coaster with him. Caleb Love tonight, I thought, he was 4 for 9. He had 11 points. He had 4 boards, 3 assists, 3 turnovers. There was a couple of really bad decision-making moments where it's like, oh yeah, that's the Caleb Love that I knew from before this good stretch, There was, I think, some rougher moments tonight, but it wasn't a terrible game.
Yeah, he was fine. He did have a couple bad turnovers. That one he tried to lob to Shea wasn't anywhere close. I don't know why he threw a line drive pass.
Yeah, it was a line drive. I don't even know if it was a lob.
I don't even know what was going on there, but I don't know if he just didn't see the defender there or something.
There's
just
no way he didn't see the defender.
Missed the linebacker. I don't know. But yeah, he was okay. Just unfortunately, this is where people are gonna say oh, you're too hard on people or whatever. But we've come to kind of expect Love to step up and provide some of the offense that we're missing when we're missing guys. And tonight, unfortunately, he didn't shoot a ton, so it's not like he had a ton of opportunities. But just be I don't know. It's it's weird to say, but it's kind of just an okay game for him, and we're used to him having a little bit better games over this 20 game stretch or so.
Yeah. We also forgot to talk about Klingon. 13 points, 16 boards, was 6 for 14, 1 for 3. And then we go back to the box score. I believe he was 1 for 3 from 3. There's two things here. One, just he needs to go strong to dunk the ball, and also he needs to just hold the ball stronger. He gets the ball hit out of his hands a little bit too much. And then, he's 1 for 4 from 3. The 3-point shot, he's not shooting it as confidently, and the hitch is kind of back. So he had a good streak there. It's still a work in progress, though. But it's a good step in the right direction what he's done from 3 this year. As a whole, 31% though. Hopefully in a year or two's time he can get up to 35. But the rim protection, as somebody in chat said it, why does it feel like Klingon's rim protection is a lot worse than last season? He's struggling at knowing how and when to contest guys right now, and there's just plays where a guy drives at him and goes up, where Klingon will, instead of just jumping vertical and easily blocking their shot, he's standing, not leaving the ground and putting his arms forward and fouling guys. It's I don't know. He doesn't really look lately. It's not that he's a bad defender by any means. He's still a solid, above average defensive big man, but we're expecting him to be, top 5 rim protector in the league sort of stuff. He doesn't really look like that right now. I tweeted, why doesn't Klingon jump when he contests anymore? Because there's just a couple plays where it's dude, you could block that shot if you would just jump. And he doesn't jump. And then right after I tweeted that, he had back-to-back plays where he bit on pump fakes when he fouled, when he got scored on. It's just okay, he doesn't know. He's struggling to read the difference between pump fakes and players actually going up for shots, it feels like.
It feels right now like a player who is being told to not foul, and it's in his head, not he's trying not to foul, and that's making him foul because he's I don't know. It feels like he's thinking about something every time he's contesting, instead of he's stuck between being vertical and going for a block, and it's he's not making the right decision at all. And it's just, I don't know, that those are things that the processing speed seemed quicker in the past, so I'm not really worried about it. I don't feel like a regression is something that's ultra concerning, because I think he'll figure it out, and he's a smart player and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. He's got to be better, man. He's like a step slow. I don't know if you noticed it, but to me, it was glaringly obvious in this game. He even like fell down, going back on defense one time. Like he just is not moving well out there. Like he's not. It seems so much more graceful earlier in the season, and I just it feels like he's having a tough time even running up and down the court at points of this game and other games as well. So I don't know if anyone else is noticing that, but it just seems like it's so hard for him to get up and down the court some possessions,
It,
and it wasn't like that earlier.
it doesn't feel like it's him being out of shape. It feels like he's not
Yeah,
100%.
yeah, like a lower body injury. Like we know he kind of tweaked something in his leg earlier in the season. Like maybe that never fully healed, and he just not say anything about it. But he definitely, yeah. Christian says maybe it's the minutes and games catching up with him because he has been in the lineup for most of the games this year. Um,
Maybe
so
it
maybe
would
it's
be a
hitting some
good
sort of wall, but yeah, I don't know.
maybe it would be a good thing for him to foul a little bit more and play slightly less and get a little bit more rest and have more of an impact as a rim protector. But not on
Well,
nights
see,
like tonight where you don't have Robert Williams, I guess. This
well,
is why
see
it's good to
this.
have a good backup center.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is this is the problem? Is we can't if you have another good center, like let's just say Robbo was the type that could play 80 games or whatever, um, like then these back to backs, you play both centers like roughly the same 24 minutes or one 28 and one 20 or something. But like you get it to where you're fine. Like you can manage their minutes a little better. And I'm not saying like Clingan can't play more minutes, but I don't know. I just see him laboring out there, and it's I don't know, man. And then on top of that, like yeah, he just we mentioned Splitter saying to him last game to wake up or whatever right at the beginning of the game. And it definitely felt like at times today his head was not in the game for whatever reason. So I don't know what's up with that, but he definitely was a little careless at points in this game, and it definitely cost us at times.
Yeah. Um yeah, I don't like if I would rather them try and hone his instincts to foul less than have them like teach him differently how to protect the rim to foul less. Does
Mm.
that make sense? Like, there's a difference to me in that.
I mean, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Like last year, he fouled 5 times for 36 minutes. Guess what? Like, rim protectors are probably going to have foul issue from time to time. If you are a rim protector and you're not in foul issue from time to time, you're probably not doing a good enough job of actually protecting the rim, right?
Well,
Unless you're Rudy Gobert and you're like generationally good and he averaged like 3 fouls per 36 minutes, right? Like 5 is too high as a rookie, but like, okay, you got to find ways to dial it back. But I wouldn't mess with his instincts. His instincts are elite. It wouldn't be. It feels like he's in his head and he's not playing off his instincts defensively right now.
yeah, and then he gets foul baited like he's Young Hansen a couple times. Like I don't know why all of a sudden he's falling for pump fakes so often. And I mean, he's like, I know there are several plays where he feels like he was straight up or went vertical or whatever, but he's not. He's like moving and he's like off balance and he's not in the correct position. Whereas I don't know, I felt like last year he was getting to those spots a little quicker and blocking shots high.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't I feel like he's just trying to not foul and get in the way, but it's making him not get there in time. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I don't think like the whistle is bad on him right now. I feel like he he's committing some dumb fouls and it's not good.
Yeah. He's not the same rim protector he was last year. Per 36 minutes, he's getting 3 fouls per game. But he was getting 3 blocks per game last year. Now he's down to 1.7. Per 100 possessions last year, he was at 4 blocks. Now he's down to 2.2. So, yeah, he's not protecting the rim at the same level. And part of it was a lot of the games he was coming off the bench, he could come in and didn't have to worry about fouling. But, I mean, you remember that 8-block game he had against Minnesota? He is a far cry from being able to do that right now. And it's kind of a shame.
And to be fair to him, maybe the stuff I was talking about with the seemingly having trouble hobbling up the court or whatever, like maybe that's also affecting his ability to jump and contest those shots high. Yeah. Maybe he just can't do it right now physically.
But like he's just not. There's times where he's not even trying to contest shots high, where somebody will shoot the ball right in front of him and he doesn't jump.
Yeah.
They're like, somebody will release the ball and it's like he doesn't react. Like, and then there's times where he's going forward, reaching forward. He's not vertical, where if he just goes vertical, he could block some of these shots. Like, it's just strange. It's just different than who he's ever been as a rim protector. So I don't know. Like, hopefully they can figure it out. Maybe he needs the All-Star break to rest up. Like,
so Wes says, I feel like they're having clean and chase outside as opposed to staying inside and protect the rim. I don't think they're having him chase outside. It's the stupid zone that the zone makes it so he has to run out on those corner shooters. And that is also an issue, I think, and why I hate the zone is because, like, how many times a game is he having to run out to a corner 3-point shooter instead of staying down low where he should be?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, but like he's a young big, like there's going to be growing pains. I think this is one of them. Grant today, speaking of pain, he scored 8 points, was 2 for 8 from the field, 0 for 5 from 3. 3 turnovers, 2 assists, 2 boards in 26 minutes.
Yeah, Grant was terrible. But Thiago, don't let that stop you from continuing for like 20 possessions to put him in the Denny role and see if he can replicate Denny. And at what point do you figure it out that that's not working, that offense is not working this game, and to try something different with him or with the team?
I mean,
that was frustrating to me. Like, here we are in the fourth quarter, he's coming in and we just go right back to, hey, go get us a bucket, Jeremy. Oh, I can't this game. Well, go get us a bucket anyway. Okay, here's some weird jump reverse back pass around the back that goes to no one. Like,
if you're gonna try and throw something to Sharpe like that, just like lob it behind your head somewhere around the rim and hope he can go get it. Like, right, I don't know why you're bouncing it to him like that. Yeah.
Why did he throw it to where he what? Like, you were expecting Sharpe to just stop at the free throw line? That Sharpe wouldn't do that. He's cutting to the basket.
I think he tried to wrap it so far to lead him, but he physically couldn't.
Yeah. But he did that last game too. He threw a around the back pass that it wasn't anywhere near and by the time he threw it, the guy wasn't even open anymore, and it wasn't even close to getting to him. So, like, you can't. I know like 2 or 3 games ago he did have the one where it worked out, but man, you just because it worked out one time doesn't mean you can keep doing it every game.
Yeah, 1000% agree. But yeah, he's not Denny. He can't play make like that. I mean, back when people thought it was a debate, I told you before Denny's first game that Denny has skills that Jeremy does not, and it's always funny to me that it was a debate when we got Denny, because Denny has feel. Denny has the ability to pass and read the floor, and Jeremy's a scorer, and that's pretty much it.
Marv said he's too used to shutting his season down halfway through. His body's telling him his season's over. He just came back from sitting out. He already was shut down for half the season. So not half the season, but you know what I
mean. Yeah. He's still probably going to play less than 60 games this year. Shout out to Christian Lucis for becoming a starter level member. Thank you, Christian.
Thanks, Christian.
Javonte Cook had 5 points, like in 3 minutes, and got us back into the game in the second quarter. That was funny. That was unexpected. He made a 3, but the couple of threes he takes too many threes for he's not a good 3-point shooter. Just
There's
chill
that one
out.
where he took like 2 in like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like, you're not. This is what we were talking about with love. Like, sometimes you cannot be the guy. Oh, I dominate remix games, so I'm gonna come in this game and just chuck a bunch of shots. No, you're like one of the most questionable two-way players in the entire league. Like, you cannot come in and just shot chuck like that. Even if you make one, just tone it down a bit, dude.
Yeah. Speaking of remix games, so um Young Hansen today.
Yeah.
7 minutes, 0 points, 0 for 2 from the field. 3 rebounds. Was a minus 13 in 7 minutes. Kind of killed this team when he was in the game. Like, this is what, you know how we have those games where it's like you're just hoping to survive the Young Hansen minutes. They did not survive the 7 minutes today. They outscored the Raptors by 1 when he wasn't on the floor. And I don't think that's one of those plus minus coincidences. I think it's literally they were much worse with him in the game because he was in the game. And something that made me laugh recently was hearing a Blazer media member. I've talked about how the media it carries a lot of water for this organization, and I heard the take that, Young Hunt's in the G League. It's clear what the Blazers are seeing in him because at the G League level, he shows that he shows the flashes of talent. He controls things on both ends. Blah 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 blah. Like, it's the G League. I don't care. There's guys that play really well in the G League and their stuff can't translate to the NBA. Like, yeah, has some talent for a 7-footer. If you went and played him against D2 players, yeah, you'd showcase all sorts of flashes of talent. But we're talking about if it translates to the NBA level. We're talking about an NBA player, a first-round draft pick that was almost taken in the lottery of what has been an absolutely loaded rookie class. And we're sitting here like, oh man, the flashes of talent in the G League. He looks so far away from being able to translate any of that sort of stuff because the NBA right now looks like it's too physical for him. He can't handle the physicality as a big, and it moves way too fast for him, and the skills are not good enough at the NBA level. Like, he's not a good three-point shooter. He's been brutal, and yeah, he has time to figure it out. But man, I'm a little bit worried about how far away it looks. Because he comes in and people want to compare him to freaking Jokic. Jokic in his rookie year looked 10 times better than this. You know what I mean? After being a second-round pick, and this guy was a first-round pick. So, it's cool to see him doing well in the G League, but that is a far cry from the NBA. A far, far cry from the NBA. It's almost not even comparable. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, that one post-up hook shot. What was that? 3 games ago now or something. And then the other team throws it to him on the other end, and he throws a pass to Tamani. Tamani ends up catching it and I think got an and one on it or made a lay-in or something. But the pass was like way out ahead of him, and Tamani had to chase it down. But yeah, there was another media member that called it like an incredible 90 seconds and tells you what flashes that,
because
like,
of 2 plays, with one of the plays being the other team threw the ball directly at him and he caught it. Yeah.
I still really hope Young pans out someday, but man, yeah, it's
he's not. I will sit here, and I am confident that he's not going to end up being a star. I'm very confident.
He's not the Asian Jokic. Yeah.
I'm very, very, very confident in that. Like, we're hoping he can become a serviceable backup big man. I don't think they'll ever contribute to playoff wins as a starter on this team unless a bunch of bigs are hurt and he has a really good game. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he'll ever factor in as like the main starter on a healthy Blazer team that's getting playoff wins.
The only chance he has is if he becomes like a Brook Lopez type stretch five, where it's like he just shoots like 38% from three on high volume or something like that's. I'm not saying that's going to happen, or I think it'll happen.
Yeah, but that's a guy that got Defensive Player of the Year votes and was like a legit DPOY candidate. Like I don't see Young.
I mean, he was
that level defensively.
There were points in Lopez's career where he wasn't considered a good defender, so he kind of grew into that. But yeah, if you just use their size to rim protector.
What's his wingspan?
Young's
7'6". Lopez. Young's is like 7'2" and 3/4. Like, yeah, everybody. Oh, he's 7'1". You know, some people say 7'2". He doesn't have a particularly long wingspan for a 7'1" big man. Like, his standing reach is 9'3", which is like fine for a center, but that's not like huge. That's not huge. That's not like the type of length where you can dominate a game defensively. Klingenstein reaches 9'7". It's 4 inches taller. Like, that's a difference. So, yeah, I think with the mobility stuff, I will say he did look like he was moving around a little bit better today. But yeah, yeah.
There's still a long ways to go.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I feel I'm not gonna when I feel very confidently that somebody's not gonna become a star. You know, it's not that I'm not rooting for him to become a star. I would love for him to become a star. I'd love for him to become better than Jokic and be our version of Jokic and lead us to a championship. Of course, I would love for that to happen. But I mean, it's kind of the same gut feeling I've had with other players. You know, I had people telling me Cam Reddish has star potential still, and I was sitting there like, all right, but confident. No, he'll never become a freaking star. And now he's out of the league, you know, like 2 years later or however.
Might be having a comeback, Tori. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I didn't see it.
He got his he applied. He left. Was he playing in Lithuania or something? Mm-hmm. I forget what country he was playing in. But he left that league and declared for the G League and got picked up and then traded. And he's now on the San Diego Clippers, and he's going to make a comeback.
Yeah, listen, man. Yeah, hopefully he can become a 15th man again. I have people telling me he had star potential, and there's the Cam fam, the Reddish stands that
Max Cam Reddish.
Max Cam Reddish that would come and chat. Where's those guys? Where's the fun trolling this year, man? From where's the guy that used to say Marcus Camby all the time? I don't know.
He's been in here a few times.
Okay, good. Because sometimes, I like to keep it a little unserious from time to time. But, all jokes aside, like, I don't know, man. I do feel confident in my assessment that he won't become the star. That's just how I see it. Would love to be wrong, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, man, look at that flash of dominating 90 seconds because he caught a ball that was thrown to him by the other team and had a pass that Tamani barely caught that resulted in a layup. Like, that's what the Blazers were looking for. Like, I'm not going to BS you guys. Like, that's to me, that comes across like I'm just being gaslit and just being fed BS, like propaganda, essentially. So, yeah. I hope so. I hope he pans out, but I don't know. He's so far away. When has a player ever come in and been this rough, looked this far away as a rookie and become a star? Where they looked like they didn't belong on the court at all and then become a star.
Yeah, I don't know about star, but there is a trend lately to not give any prospects any sort of runway to be patient with them or anything like that. Somebody mentioned earlier to John Salon in just his second year when everyone knew he was a project and everyone wrote him off. yeah, I don't know. But that's not a star, so I don't know.
But like that's a
Maybe
6'10" guy
Chad
that can
Cohen.
moves well. He moves well. Like
Yeah,
physically and athletically, he looks like he belongs on the floor. I can't say the same about Young. He looks like he belongs on the court in terms of his height, but in terms of the way he moves, not at all. Not at all. In terms of like his reaction time and that sort of stuff, not at all. Yeah, so like Stallone last year, yeah, he shot 33% from the field, 28% from three. Now it's up to 51% from the field and 44% from three. Now he's only played 29 games, 60 minutes a game, but that's obviously huge improvement. But Young, I mean, it's all you could also say it's a small sample size, but his misses are so all over the place from three. He's shooting 15% from three, 29% from the field as a center. Like it's not good, not pretty. But there's just something about like watching a player where he's like, dude, it's so far away. And there's so much work to be done just to get him to be serviceable and contribute to consistently winning games. And there's still a much bigger step between that and becoming a star. I just don't know of a single player that looked this rough as a rookie and then became a star in the league. Chat, maybe you can come up with an example of somebody that looked like this their rookie season and then eventually became a star, but like it's not just the the efficiency missing every shot. It's just the speed of the game looks far too fast for him, far too athletic for him. So that's the thing is like he needs to put on strength, but that's not going to help him be quicker. Like he needs to put on a lot of strength and somehow become quicker at the same time. I don't really know how you do that.
Yeah.
Wasn't Giannis horrible his rookie year? Giannis flashed stuff his rookie year.
I mean, his counting stats weren't good though.
But like he flashed stuff. Like he had moments where it's like taking the ball coast to coast and dribbling through multiple defenders and finishing at the rim. Like,
so you mean like stealing a pass and then passing ahead to Tamani?
Giannis's rookie year shot 41% from the field, 34% from three. Giannis as a rookie shot better from three than Young is shooting from the field. He was 7th in rookie of the year voting. He averaged 7 points, 4 rebounds, and started 23 games from flash stuff. So yeah, no, it was not like this at all. But he was just super skinny. But like he moved well. Giannis also moved well.
Lazy Panda says Young will be an amazing player. He just needs to work on his shooting, strength, speed, defense, offense, passing, dribbling, and his English.
Yeah. Wasn't Steve Nash horrible his rookie season? I mean, statistically, Steve Nash wasn't even that bad his rookie season. He played 10 minutes a game, so not much of a sample, but he shot 42% from the field, 42% from three, 3 points, 2 assists, 1 turnover. Like,
Lazy
per 36,
Panda,
he averaged 11 and 7 on a true shooting percentage of 54%. So, yeah, like that's a big difference between that and Young's true shooting percentage right now is, do you want to guess, Eric?
40%.
Exactly 40% before this game. So now it's down to below 40. So, yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
I just want to read off this donation. Mono Poman, 350 donation. Says Giannis trade to Portland. Is this reasonable? Thank you for the donation. We did talk about that for a while earlier in the stream. I don't want to rehash everything. I mean, Tori mentioned that we should be in a position to have a legit offer. Just I don't know. There's seems to be no smoke there in terms of us pursuing them hard or anything like that. I don't know if that's good or bad thing that there's no mention of us when those talks come around. But
if we did pull off the miracle of trading for him, do you think there would be smoke in the lead up to that, or do you think it would just come out of left field, kind of like the Avdia trade did?
I think this particular one would probably come out of left field because everyone's focused on the Warriors or the Knicks or whatever.
Man?
Yeah.
Could you imagine? If I'm
That's true.
Dundon, I'm going
That's
in
true.
there
Would be
like, let's
fun.
shock the world. I'm gonna make an impact before I'm even officially
Yeah.
the owner. You know.
So who's this Giannis guy, and can we get him?
Yeah, I hear he's a top 3 player in the league. Oh, we have their. Well, he probably knows it, dude. I think he knows ball. Like he seems like the guy that.
I know, just
Yeah, you know. Because I gotta keep making jokes about like, oh, we have their draft picks, but like he's the type of guy that would already know. I feel like would already know all this stuff.
who's the Gregory Dundon of our front office? Well, actually, Giannis and Dame already played together, and they didn't do so well. So I don't think that's a good idea.
Oh man, yeah, you're fired. Goodbye, goodbye. Where's
To be
Tori
fair,
hiding behind my microphone? What do you mean,
it-
Trevin? It's at mouth level because I speak into it.
It is a legit. I mean, people do think that it'd be stupid to trade for him because it didn't work out. One, I mean, I feel like we have. Well, I mean, assuming we wouldn't have to give everyone up in that trade, we have a better cast around them. And two, Dame, is not necessarily the main guy or the second guy. Like we have Denny too, and yeah, I don't think we need to worry about that. Like I think they could be fine with a different coach, a different system and stuff. Run pick and rolls actually for them.
Yeah, the 2 years they played together, like Dame and Giannis were never healthy together for the playoffs outside of last year where Dame came back after missing a ton of time and like barely played and then tore his Achilles, okay? Number 2, their coach was Doc Rivers, who sucks. And number 3, their number 3 option last year was Kyle freaking Kuzma. We have 8 players on this roster better than Kyle Kuzma. You know? Like, it's a completely different situation. So you don't turn up your nose at a top 3 player if you're Portland. I think that's kind of ridiculous. All right. Young, if you're watching, I'm sorry. Please don't take it personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or take it personally and show us.
Yeah, please prove me wrong. I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you. Truly. Ryan Repair, 16 minutes, was a minus 14.
Yeah, he was rough today.
0 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. I remember him not doing anything last game either. In the last 2 games, he's played 29 minutes. He's 0 for 6, has 0 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist in the last 2 games. 29 minutes played. Eric, I could do that.
Oh, here Tori goes again.
I could score 0 points in 29 minutes.
Yeah, sure you could, dude. Sure you could.
I might accidentally not score 0 points in 29 minutes. He had 4 points
You're
the game
so
before
cocky,
that.
always talking about your playing prowess. Trying to claim you could score 0 points in a game.
I know.
Come on, man.
I know. So cocky, man. With my college average being what it is. How dare I even discuss that? The game before that, 4 points. The game before that, 0 points. Okay, so if you want to go back the last 4 games, okay, this is after his back-to-back 13-point games. The last 4 games, man, he's played in 66 minutes. He has 4 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. He is 2 for 14 from the field and 0 for 6 from 3.
This is why I just want a shooter in that Chris Murray, Ryan Rupert role. Like, I feel like if we had a shooter right now, we'd be in so much better shape.
4 points in 66 minutes is insane. Like, he had that, I forget who had the really nice pass to him cutting down the middle, and there was the, God, how do I even explain to people If you know what play I'm talking about, you probably understand why it's bad, but I'm trying to put it in words as to like why this play specifically was so ridiculous. It was the play where he cut down the middle, got a nice feed, had a shot blocker in front of him, turned to create contact with his right shoulder, and tried to shoot the ball with his right hand, like through the shot blocker. And it made no sense to me. You know what play I'm talking about? Please tell me you know what play I'm talking about from today.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
dude, if you lean into a shot blocker with your right shoulder, you should be shooting with your left hand away from the shot blocker. Like, it's insane level of like low field to me to like cut down the middle of the lane, see a shot blocker, jump into him with your right shoulder, and like basically shoot the ball into them. It was weird. I don't know if I've ever seen an NBA player like shoot a shot quite like that. It's just strange. Chad, do you know what play I'm talking about? Just he has these plays around the rim where it's just like, what are you trying to do? You know, like there's a defender there. You know, there's a defender right in front of you. Why are you shooting the ball, like serving it on a platter right in front of their face for them to spike out of bounds? You know, I don't know, man. It's just the lack of feel for being able to do anything around the rim, and then the ball handling, like he's just kind of hunched over. He's not shifty, not explosive. He's not close to being an NBA athlete, and
Well, that's fine.
yeah,
He shouldn't be playing anyway, but fortunately, we have to play him right
he can
now.
play good in the G League though. The thing is, he had his two best games after he played in the G League, but like his best shot is a 10-foot hanging kind of fadeaway. Like, it's just
Yeah.
not- yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is he better than CJ Ellaby? Maybe, yeah. I don't know, but like, move on after this year. I mean, move on.
Move on at the deadline.
It's not working out. Like, it's not working out. Outside of those two games where he played really well. I don't know. Anyway, those are players that played tonight. Like,
Yeah.
Caleb Love's good two-way. City Sissoko's good two-way. Repair Reith at the end of the roster. I mean, Reith didn't play today. They don't trust Reith at all.
He was hurt.
Oh, was he hurt today?
I think it was a late scratch.
Oh, what did he hurt?
I think it was ankle. Rolled his ankle or something.
In warm-ups?
I don't know if it was warm-ups or last game.
I mean, he had a DNP coach's decision. It wasn't DNP
But,
due to injury.
Oh, no, it said like Anthony Davis, DMP coach's decision on their last game.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's not accurate. Yeah,
Would he have played
foot
in today's
soreness.
game? I don't know, but like,
I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he was out. He was not.
on my list of
Suited
guys that should not be back by next season, it's Repair, it's Chris Murray, it's Duop Reith, it's a lot of people won't like this, but it's also Blake Wesley. Like, next season, you're going to have 5 guards that are all going to be ahead of him. Like, I don't really see a point to have a 4th point guard, 6th guard that struggles to shoot. Like, all those guys are replaceable.
Yeah.
So, but that's the thing is, like, this Portland front office has liked to hang on to these guys for an abnormally long amount of time, it feels like, at the end of the roster. Like, we're going to have Chris Murray for 4 years. We're going to have Ryan Repair for 3 years. I mean, would it shock you if Ryan Repair was back next season somehow on a minimum contract for a 4th season? Like, yeah.
Hey, he could be a 2-way next year.
True. Nah, we'll go let him be a 2-way for the Sixers. Like Jabari. The one guy they didn't keep around is the one guy that's like actually a fringe rotation player on a playoff team, and that's Trendon Watford. Like, that's the guy they randomly cut. You know, I don't understand that. Which, like, at the time, it's like, okay, this probably is not going to really matter long term, but Trendon's been good this year, man. He's playing 16 minutes a game. He's played 22 games. He's averaging 6 points, 3.5 rebounds, 3 assists. He's shooting 40% from 3 on 1 attempt per game. Per 36, that's 14 points, 8 rebounds, 6.5 assists. True shooting percentage of 60%. I wish Trendon was here taking some of these minutes. But anyway. I don't even want to look at the standings. I was excited because the Suns lost, and it's like, oh, we might gain a game on the Suns today. Yeah. And Booker rolled his ankle pretty bad, and Jalen Green hurt his hamstring again. So, like, oh, maybe that's a team that is going to be easy to pass. Or not easy to pass, but possible to pass. They have a tough schedule the rest of the year, too. So it was kind of lining up like, okay, you got the Warriors. They're without Butler now. We have the tiebreaker. You got the Suns. We have multiple games coming up. There's all of a sudden their top 2 guards are hurt, and Dylan Brooks has been not playing as well lately as he was at the start of the year where he was on fire, and they have a tough schedule. Like, there's some teams that the Blazers can pass here. That's why they got to keep winning games. This one was a tough one, but hopefully next game, given that Denny was doubtful for this game, but got 2 days off, I'm hopeful that Denny will play next game. And it sounds like I feel like he would have. I feel like there's no back-to-back restriction for Denny. Either he is good enough to play or he's not. And there was no back-to-back restriction for Jeremy or Drew, which we were wondering. So we have another back-to-back on Monday and Tuesday on the road. One of them's against the Wizards. Let's win both of these games, man. Like, I think that Boston game should be able to have Denny and Drew and Grant on top of, maybe Robert Williams plays that game because that's a tougher opponent. I want them to go into Boston and win that game. Boston struggled to beat Brooklyn today.
Lazy Panda says, do you think the Boston game will happen? I predict it's delayed. Yeah, there's that huge storm that's about to hit the East Coast. I think the Blazers, Calabro mentioned this on the broadcast, that they're going to fly out a day ahead of time just to get there. We'll see.
Okay, let's look at Boston's weather forecast on the stream. We're really looking at weather forecast. Winter storm warning +2. Where's our winter, man? We get cold lately, but it's dry cold, which I'm not complaining about. I like seeing the sun during the winter. It's actually been pretty nice to have some sun. But Monday, high of 26, low of 9 degrees, and it's supposed to snow all day.
Nice.
I mean, they have a winter storm warning through 5 p.m. on January 26th. Then maybe that gets extended after, but that game might not happen. The thing is, if that game didn't happen, when would they make it up?
I don't know, but that might help us.
Because that's an East Coast game. That's a long trip. So
Or one game. Didn't the Blazers have to do that? What team was that against? We had a game where we had to make it up a few years ago, and we had to go back to the East Coast to make up one game.
I forget.
It looks like the Hornets or something. I don't know why.
I think I found the window that they would make it up in. All right, let me sure. So Portland has an East Coast trip. They play Chicago February 26th, Charlotte February 28th, Atlanta March 1st, and then 2 days off. Then they play at Memphis March 4th, and then at Houston March 6th. I assume it would be like March 2nd or March 3rd, where they go from Atlanta to Boston to Memphis. Depending on Boston's schedule, March 2nd or March 3rd. Impossible unless Boston moves a game, because Boston plays on March 2nd and March 4th. So I don't really know where the window is unless they have to fly back for one game in Boston, which would be kind of brutal. I really hope that's not the case.
Well, Boston played double overtime game tonight and has to play tomorrow night as well. And they'll get just one day off until our game on Monday.
I hope that game happens, but I have a feeling that game is not going to happen.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe the storm shifts or isn't as bad as people are predicting.
I mean, it's already getting bad. So
yeah.
Because that's our. Well, we do have a road trip here, but man, that's a packed road trip. Like, I think if they try and lump it in with a road trip, they'd maybe move a separate game. Otherwise, yeah, it's not looking pretty.
Yeah.
Like this road trip in March. Honestly, they have 3 days off between April 2nd and April 6th. And I've never actually tried to guess at when a makeup would be. And of course, they play the 3rd and the 5th, so it's literally impossible. Yeah, I don't know what they'd make it up. Portland might get screwed and have to fly one game back to Boston and then come back home. Because, there's really no East... Or fly to Boston and then fly back to the West Coast. There's really no East Coast trip window unless they move a separate game. So, we'll see what happens. I mean, we might be live on Monday, but who knows? If not, then the Blazers will get 3 days of rest and then maybe get Denny back for that Washington game on the 27th. Although, could we make it up on the 20... Could we make it up on the 28th? No, they play at Atlanta. Nothing lines up. Nothing lines up at all. Unless they bump the Washington game to the 28th and play that game I don't know. I don't know how they would handle this. Anyway, we'll see. If it gets canceled, it'll be interesting to see what the makeup looks like. I believe a game got moved last year to accommodate for a makeup before, but it was like well in advance. Anyway, anything else, Eric?
Thanks, everyone, for watching. Appreciate y'all. Sucks the Blazers lost, but hopefully if they play that game on Monday or whenever their next game is, they get back on track. And I think it was the main positive, I think, is, like you just mentioned, Drew and Jeremy playing in a back-to-back should indicate that hopefully we'll be relatively healthy soon. And knock on wood, there's no new injuries. But yeah, hope to see you guys then. And once again, with now 13 days till the trade deadline, if anything major happens, or if the Blazers make a trade, we'll be here to cover it.
Yep. Blazers lose. Rough game. Hopefully Denny's back for whenever the next game will be. We'll see what happens over on the East Coast. Lots of winter weather and stuff, so we'll see if they can get that game in Boston. Of course, that coincides with us flying east. Of course. Anyway.
Or just a 3-game trip,
Yeah, could it be a problem for the Washington game? No. Washington game will be fine. All right, yeah, so we'll have you guys covered. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you're new. Shout out to Sleeper. Use the promo code Uprise. You'll get a free $20 entry. We got the conference championship games for football coming up in 2 days, Sunday. So if you want to put together a free $20 parlay, no deposit required, you can do so. See if you win. Have some fun. College basketball tomorrow. You can put together something for that. And if you want to put some money down and make multiple picks, you can use that code. It'll give you a free, or not a free. It'll give you a 100% match up to $100 alongside that free $20 entry. Yeah, we're out of here. Have a good rest of your guys' night and have a good weekend. We will catch you on Monday or Tuesday. We'll see. Until then, as always, peace out. Go Blazers.